Hey there, Leah. Sean here. I'm gonna do a walkthrough video for you on your new Wave trailer. Just going over some of the components, and of course we're always here if you have any questions anytime down the road. But I'll just touch on a few of the components that you are likely to have questions about if you don't have a lot of RVing experience. So here at the front, the guys are going to go over the equalizer hitch with you to get you all set up when you're here today a little bit later, but we'll talk about the propane tanks. So there's a supply line lever here, so you just turn it to one side or the other. So this pointing over this way is going to be to this tank. Turn it the other way, it's to this tank, and there's a little meter on here. If it's green, they're full. As they work their way to red, you know they're empty. You'll also be able to tell by tapping on the side of the tank. If you've got one that is low, it'll sound much more hollow. And there's usually a condensation line on them as well. So to open your tanks, you want to basically just open them very slowly. So just turn them ever so slowly like this. Once you get to about that point, you can go all the way to a fully open. And the reason you want to do it a little bit slow is so you don't get an airlock in your lines. That could be a reason why some of your propane appliances aren't working properly, is you could have an airlock. So just open it very slowly. And of course we're over at this tank right now. Once this one runs out, you'll notice things aren't working inside. You're not getting propane to your oven, that kind of thing. Or this little meter will read red. Right now it's green. At that time you would switch your lever over to the other tank, and again do the same thing on that side and open it slowly. Okay, so that's your tanks. Your front jack's very self-explanatory. There's a light on there on one side, and your up and down on the other. So up and down is listed just as so, and your on-off switch right there for your light. Okay, so that's that. Over here in your storage compartment, you'll see a few things. I have opened up your power cord. You have brand new power cord. There's your sewer hose. You use that for both your black and gray tanks. And there's two gray tanks on this one. And there's your equalizer hitch over there. You've got an outside shower here, so hot and cold water outside of the trailer. Cable hookup right there. There's two of them. Freshwater fill. So you can just put a hose right into this here. And once it's full, it'll just come out of this screen here on the side, and that's about it. Fairly straightforward and self-explanatory. All right, down below here you've got your black tank flush. That's the one on the right with the aluminum ring around it. The one on the left is your city water. So you'd connect your hose up to the one on the left to run water into the trailer when you're connected to a city water supply, and the one on the right is when you hook a hose up to that, open up your black and gray tank and turn the water on to that and spray water throughout your black tank. That just helps to clean things out when you're at the sandy dump. There's your new power cord, and of course it's hooked up. There's a light on this cord as well, so that's telling you that you have power to it. Spot on the end of your bumper back here, you can open that up and put your sewer hose into it. All right, so that's about it over that way. We're gonna come around here to the front. Got your awning part way open, and we'll just take a look here at your hot water tank. Winterizing and dewinterizing, best thing to do there is bring it into an Arbutus RV to do that. And we'll look after you. There's specials that come on for winterizing and dewinterizing, and that also gives us an opportunity to take a look at your seals, etc. There's a little on-off switch in here as well. You can see the on-off button there. So that's your electric hot water heater function. So you just have to have the switch turned on the inside and then flick that switch in here in order to use power to heat your hot water. You got an outside light, another outside light there. There's an amber lens over that. You can change that to a clear if you want a little bit more light. So coming inside the trailer, you got to have that chair tucked away when you bring the slide in. Couch, I think I showed in your last video, real simple, just pull up on the front of it and let it fold down. Your fridge operation, so either auto, off, or gas. Auto will select power if you're connected. If you're not connected and you know you're not going to be connected, just select gas. If you get it blinking, that means something's not working properly, and you have an adjustment there for your thermostat adjustment. This little gray tab right here, that is for locking your fridge for travel. But you can also bring it to this point here and push it in, and that locks your fridge in the open position. So when you're not using your RV, it allows you to have it ventilate a little bit. So you can do that with both the fridge and freezer. We'll just pull that back. So now it's just regular operation. Microwave, if you have power to the RV, you'll know because there will be a little light on there in your microwave. Stove, pretty straightforward. Those 3 or 4 slots at the back are a spot to put knives. You've got a little spark or igniter right here. Just turn that and it'll click. You'll see a little click happen right there at each of the burners. For your oven, basically the spark doesn't work for the oven. You have to turn your oven, push and turn to pilot, and reach into your oven with a barbecue lighter right to the back, right where all that stuff happens at the back of the tube. That's where you want to put your barbecue lighter to. And so basically just again push and turn to pilot. Once the pilot is lit and you can pull your lighter away from it, you just back it off a little bit, turn it over to your temperature. Now that whole tube will fill up with flame and your oven is on. To turn it off, just all the way back to the off position. Now you shouldn't have any gas coming out. With your knobs here, you got to push and turn. Light is going to be full propane, and then you just set your temperature. So pretty straightforward. When you're plugged in, all of your plugins will work. When you're not plugged in, none of your plugins will work unless you have solar or a generator. And with solar, you have to have an inverter in order for those plugs to work. So you can't make coffee, use a toaster, microwave, air conditioning, any of that kind of stuff unless you're plugged in. Down here is your panel. So this is where your fuses are. If you have a fuse that's burnt out, a little red light to the right of your fuse panel, to the right of the fuse, will light up, and you know you've got a fuse burnt out. The panels, the breakers on the left are all labeled. You can see which one they are for, and that's that. Pretty straightforward. You will hear a little fan in behind there, just keeping things cool. All right, let's head back over to your bedroom area, and this is where the thermostat is. So pretty straightforward again, just cool off furnace on the left hand side. If you want to turn the fan on or auto, you just set it high or low, you set it and you just set your temperature. So again, real straightforward. Nice new Serta mattress. You've got access into your storage through here, and a nice plywood base there with some supports across there. Those have probably been added for a little extra support by somebody previously. So that's under your bed area. This thing up here is to crank your antenna up. So basically you just turn it, it lifts up, and that'll help with your TV reception. And you can pull that part right here down and turn to adjust the antenna to pick up a better signal. TV mounting bracket is right here. You've got a 12-volt plug-in there, a couple of cable outlets, and your power outlet for your TV. Slide operation, you've got the slide fully out right now. You either want to have your slide fully out or fully in. You don't want to have it part way because your seals aren't working properly. And if you're going to go all the way out, you want to go all the way out before you come back in. To do that, basically you're just going to hit the slide switch right here. So I'm just going to close it right now and we're going to watch that happen. Oops, that was out. So coming in. So when you hear that noise that you just heard, you want to stop holding the button. You'll hear that noise every time you go in or out anyways. It's just basically letting you know that you've gone all the way. And and you don't want to keep your finger on that button, or you're turning the gear continuously and wearing things out. So we'll come all the way in. Again, you just want to make sure that that chair's out of the way. Once you're in, you're going to hear a little bit of a noise. There you go, you're in. And exactly the same thing is done to put it out. So you've got switches here. Your hot water heater is this light, is this button here. Porch light, slide, water pump, heat pad if equipped. I'm not sure if this has a heat pad underneath it, but that's for winter. If you're not using the trailer, you can turn that on if you're plugged in, and there'll be a thermostatically controlled pad that won't allow any water that's in your fresh tank to freeze. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, give us a call. You're gonna love this trailer. It's very spacious, lots of great features. Having that gas electric hot water heater is awesome. And spark on the oven is another feature that not a lot of ovens have. Lots of light around here, lots of big windows with screens on them too. So anyhow, enjoy and have fun.